All right, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Standing Out. I'm Trey Griggs, your host. So glad to have you with us today. We're going to have a great show today. Can't wait to get to it here in just a little bit. Hope your spring and Q1 is ending well, or Q2 is starting well. Can't believe it's already April. It's unbelievable how fast the year is going, but hope it's been a great 2024 for you. Remember, it's the Kobe year, the Mamba mentality. It's Kobe year, 2024, everybody. All right, so let's get a few things out of the way. First of all, not really out of the way. These things are important. So got to give a shout out to our friends over at Reeds Across America. So excited to be syndicated on their radio program now every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Eastern time. So if you're listening to us on Reeds Across America Radio, thank you so much. If you want to hear us on your car ride home or when you get home, be sure to tune in to Reeds Across America Radio to hear Standing Out every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Eastern time. What a great organization. Love working with them. Can't wait. Hopefully this year, towards the end of the year, to document the whole process for carriers as they drive up towards Bangor, Maine, and up in that area up there where the wreaths are all made and all of them are delivered from by truck drivers all across the country. It's going to be a great time. In fact, that event is December 14th. And if you'd like to participate in that, it's not too early to sign up for that. Take your team, take your family, go and place wreaths on the headstones of fallen soldiers. So just an incredible experience to remember the past and look forward to the future and really honor our veterans, teach the next generation about the sacrifices that they made. Also want to talk about the Broker Carrier Summit real quick. That's going to be April 22 through 24. That is coming up here in just a couple of weeks. It is not too late to sign up for that. It's going to be great, especially if you're a carrier out there. Listen, this is a chance to meet brokers who truly want to take care of you, give you consistent freight, help you grow, help you get off the load boards a little bit, and create true partnerships. So it's a small investment to find the right partners to work with. Be sure to sign up today at brokercarriersummit.com. And if you use the coupon code BETA, B-E-T-A, get 10% off your registration, and we'd love to see you in Kansas City in April for the Broker Carrier Summit. It's going to be a great event. Looking forward to that. I'm going to be emceeing it. If you are coming to the event, make sure you come and say hello when you come to the event. Come up and introduce yourself. And finally, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, SPI Logistics. I'll tell you what, if you're a freight broker and you're tired of just having your MC, you're tired of the back office stuff, or maybe you're currently an agent and you're not happy with where you currently are, make sure you reach out to SPI out of Vancouver, British Columbia. Good guys up there in Northwest Canada, or I guess Western Canada, Northwest United States area. They've got the technology, systems, and back office support to help you succeed. Check them out at success.spi3pl.com. Again, success.spi3pl.com. Let them know that you heard about it right here on Standing Out, and make sure you give them a call. It's a great opportunity to stay in your lane and just get all that stuff you don't like doing just off your plate, especially if you're a freight broker and you're just tired of your MC. All right, everybody, it is time to bring our guests on today. I'm so excited to have this guest on the show. I got a chance to meet this guy recently, hear about his story. I've been watching him from afar for a while, incredibly impressed with his journey. And today we get to talk all about that. So please welcome the fitness coach, Lombard Fit Motor Freight, and an Orange Theory fitness trainer, Michael Lombard. Dude, this song is a banger, man. What's up, bro?
Oh, there's nothing better. And, it's kind of trucking related because it's called the Hammer. We call the left lane the Hammer lane. So
That's
it's just
right.
the
Got to
two
drop the
correlated.
hammer. That's right. That's awesome, man. Dude, it is so good to have you on the show, man. I've been looking forward to this episode for a while. Been watching you from afar for a long time, and just incredibly blessed to now get to have you on the show and talk about you, what you're doing. I mean, you're doing some exciting things. Why don't you take a moment and just give everybody just a little intro into who you are and what you're doing, man?
Yeah, brief synopsis, I guess, to cover who I am. Number one, yeah, glad to be here. First, I freshened up for it too. By the way, for all the men
I know
watching,
you did.
clean shaven is Botox
Look
for
at
men.
this.
Just want to give that quick little fashion tip for the dudes out there. But a little bit about myself. Originally from Connecticut. I went to high school in Waterbury, Connecticut. Graduated, joined the Marines. Was in the Marines for 4 years. Got out, went to school, played lacrosse in school. After college, worked at Enterprise Rent a Car. Then I worked at a warehouse for 3 years. And that's where I started kind of getting into more of the logistics side of things. But during that course of time, I also lost track of my weight, my lifestyle, stuff like that. And then I moved to kind of crunching this all together. I eventually got my CDL, had moved to Texas, and started trucking. And essentially trucking is when I also started getting like really dialed in about on health and fitness. And that's where I started making a huge turnaround. I had started getting healthier before I got over the road. I had lost some weight for my wedding, but then getting over the road, I saw some statistics that were daunting. And I saw that this new career could cost me, essentially a lot of my life and, a healthy lifestyle. And I did everything I could to change that. And essentially, and I drove over the road for 3 years. For a year and a half of that time, I did own my own truck, and I produced a lot of content related to what I did fitness wise over the road. Unfortunate circumstances I was backed into with my truck, and so I was down for a while, kind of hemorrhaged money. Went back out, tried to make some more money, and it just wasn't playing out for my family's decision moving forward. And I ended up being able to break even, fortunately, sell my truck. And from that point on, I essentially said, I'm going to dedicate everything I do. I'm going to jump into the fitness industry, essentially full time with Orange Theory, and then also full time with what I'd like to do with, that's the rebrand of my company. I had an LLC when I had my own truck, and I've rebranded the company to branch out as Lombard Fit Motor Freight, which is a tie off of my family's company. So even going back a little bit further, what kind of puts my heart into the freight and the trucking industry it's where I come from. I'm a product of the trucking industry. My family started Lombard Brothers Incorporated in 1923. They were bought out in 1984. They were a victim of the Motor Carrier Act in 1980. So I grew up with my grandfather, who was a driver, who was also a part owner of Lombard. So it's something I've always grown up with. And so that's what I feel like I kind of live my life believing that, my ancestors are looking down, and watching the things that that I'm doing. And hopefully, if I'm going to, every day I wake up, I want to know that what I do, I want those people to be wherever they are in the universe, wherever they are in the ethos or whatever, they're looking down and saying, okay, it was worth it. And so that's why I've just dived in full force. I haven't shut the door on, whatever it takes when it comes to having a carrier or possibly driving a truck again. I'll always keep the CDL, get a DOT physical, but I'm lasered in. I'm going to focus on the present, and just go day by day. So that kind of,
you're a legacy guy. I love that, like that matters to you. Think about your family's history, and you really brought it full circle. And coming out of Connecticut, they got some good pizza up there. I know that.
I used to work at a good spot that, Portnoy from Barstool went to. It's called Bar in New Haven. I worked security there when I was a little bit thicker. Worked security there for several years. But yeah, New Haven. And I lived down in New Haven. I went to the University of New Haven. It's living down there is a good time. New Haven's like a miniature Philadelphia or Pittsburgh. It really
is.
Yeah, it's a small town with a lot of good character.
It's a good comparison. Sally's is right there. I think Pepe's is right there.
Oh yeah.
Went to Pepe's. Stood in line at Pepe's and got the pizza there, and that was really good. So. Out of Connecticut, that's a good spot to be up there. That's for sure. It's good that you had the experience driving this truck, because obviously that's going to help as you think about truck drivers. And we're going to dig into that a little bit more in just a little bit. But before we do that, a couple of things. First of all, we appreciate you being on the show. We want to send you a little show swag. So do you want a coffee mug or do you want a water bottle from the show? What are you thinking?
Oh, I don't know, because I got this USS Constitution mug. I am a mug guy.
You can't have too many mugs, in my opinion, but the water bottle is dope. I mean, it's a hard decision. I get it.
I got to go with the water bottle.
Water bottle it is. It's on the way, man. We appreciate you being on the show today. That's a pleasure. Also, we learned a little fun fact about you. You posted this recently. You just recently set a record for yourself, a new PR for a mile. You ran a mile in under 5 minutes. Dude, that's sick. That's crazy. Like I've never even come close to that. It's impressive.
Method. The set it and forget it method on the treadmill, which I think if I was doing it on a track, I could possibly move even a little bit quicker, especially during the last legs. So yeah, that was I had it in me that day. It must have been Sunday's Guinness because it was the day after St. Patrick's Day. And but it just goes to show, like, and I've been saying this a lot to the people I coach, I've been saying a lot to anybody out there. I used to be in the mindset of thinking that, things are unattainable, or I can't do this. Like your mind will always set limits for yourself. Like, I'll never be able to do this. Even when I got behind the wheel of the truck, I knew, I was like, I want to be in shape, but I know I'm never going to run a marathon. I know I'm never going to do this. But then after reading the Goggins book and like just learning more about myself, like you find out that limits only exist in your mind. That's and essentially you can, once you tear those away, you can run a 5-minute mile. And if I can do it, I'm not special. I'm not in the NFL. I'm not doing anything. I'm not on a track team. I'm not, I'm not being paid money for sports, but I could still do it. It's like, if I'm able to, anybody can. It's just, you have to put in the work.
Yeah. And what I love about your story too, is like some people think that somebody who is in shape or who is fit has always been in shape or always been fit. They don't realize that you went through a period where you weren't in shape. You were out of shape. You were overweight. Your cardiovascular was not healthy, and you just decided to make a change. I think that's what's really important for people to understand, is that being healthy and being fit is truly a choice. And anything outside of that is pretty much an excuse. Now, there are some people with physical limitations. We get that. But even in that case, you can eat healthy. You can still be healthy, even if you have some limitations. But it really starts up here. It all starts in the mind.
Yeah. And there was a point to where I would wake up, go to the warehouse when I was working in New Haven, and it would take me like a full hour to be like fully waking up, to get like that brain fog away to where I'd be finally alert. So I'd have to wake up like earlier. And then by the time I got to work, I was still coming out of it. And then by the end of the workday, which, 10, 11 hours long, you're absolutely exhausted. But the reason why I was exhausted is because as soon as I went home, I would just go home and sit, as opposed to, but once those habits started to change and once you started moving a little bit more, you find that fog starts to release itself. That's the biggest thing. That's kind of the biggest part of like why I really value what I think I bring into the fitness industry and the game in general, is not only having gone through a major transformation in my lifestyle, but also living it in the people I'm trying to help the most, like within the trucking industry, because I know what these guys are thinking. I know their lifestyle, and I've done more than just dry van too. I've done it on the open deck side. So I know that some freight is a little bit easier than the other, but I've done it on kind of both sides of the ball.
Like when you said you got to unlock your mind, it's like you just had to plan for it. Because I remember you were telling me about this, that you would have your 10-hour break and you want to get 8 hours of sleep. So that left you with 2 hours to do something. So that's a 45-minute run, or that's a walk, or whatever it is, with a shower and a meal or whatever. Like you just had to plan for it, and more than likely, I would also think this, I bet a lot of truckers out there, just because they get in this habit, they stop their truck and then they get on their phone and they start scrolling through social media or trying to entertain and kind of get their mind off of it, where a good walk or a good little jog or something like that would serve a much better purpose in that time. But it's just a matter of just kind of planning and making that decision about doing something different, walking around the truck yard, just, as long as you can, or the truck stop, taking laps, whatever it is. Like, it's possible. You just have to choose to do it. And I think that's the main lesson that you're sharing with people, which I'm excited for you, man, because I just want to see you in front of more carriers. I want more people to hear about what you're doing. I'm excited for you to be at the Broker Carrier Summit in a couple weeks, talking about driver health. That's going to be a great time. What can people expect from you whenever they see you in person, man? Like, what are you going to share with them? What are you going to do?
Oh man, well, I can't wait to go to a city of champions, by the way.
That's right. Let's go. City. That's right.
So I'm excited to go back there and be able to have the face-to-face conversations with people, because it's one thing, I have my show, I have my TikTok and Instagram, and there's infinite number of things I can say, and I can blast stuff on Twitter and stuff. I could put it out there, but that stuff is just going out there into the universe. And if somebody sees it, I'm lucky, essentially. If only the only people who can see it are people who maybe follow me. So what I'm looking forward to the most is getting that face-to-face with people, because, you know, we were both just at the Mid-America Truck Show, and I got to see certain people that I might know them online too, but they don't know much about me. And being able to get that face-to-face with somebody who works for a carrier, especially if it's somebody in their recruiting department, or if it's somebody, or especially because there's brokers there too, people who work for logistics companies, because the thing is with the internet where, you know, right now I'm being authentically myself and stuff like that, but the internet still comes with a layer of kind of a little bit of a layer of, you know, rose-colored lenses. You know, I can present myself online as whoever I want to be, but in person, very hard to fake that. So I can put on a front on my show and, you know, talk the talk on the internet, but until I get there in person and people see me, and I felt that actually at the Mid-America Truck Show, somebody saw me in person. They were like, wow. They were like, I can't believe how good you look in person. You know, talking about how in shape I had looked. There's another dude giving me this compliment. Respect, men building each other up. But that's what I can't wait for them to see, is like, see me in person, hear my story. I could show them the pictures too, be like, oh, this is me hauling this combine. It's me hauling me this. Hey, this is how I live my lifestyle. And them seeing the value of, hold on, wait a minute. Look at this guy. Look at his energy level. You know, I want this for my drivers, because the entire crux of it, what I want to explain to people, especially at the Broker Carrier Summit, is as I got more and more elite and in shape over the road, is the more and more I got involved with driver advocacy and being like, so the more I was doing for myself, the more I was like putting in health and fitness wise, the more I was, and you think that it's time consuming and it takes a lot of energy, but then the more my mind freed itself up from brain fog and distractions and needing to decompress to where, wow, now I have this excess energy. I want to give it to making content, getting involved with organizations, going to the Mid-America Truck Show, doing this, going to these events. That's the thing, is the more healthy I got, the more I wanted to, you know, be like, we need to fix this. And that's what I think the overall trickle down effect is if we can get all, you know, more drivers on this wagon. You're talking about more drivers who are more involved in advocating either for their business, or if they're driving for a company, they're like, you know, they're more likely to stand up as opposed to just quitting, because that's the thing. We have a retention issue. So overall, you know, the health and wellness of America's drivers, it will have a direct reflection of, you know, bettering the industry overall. The healthier they get, you know, I'm wearing the First Form t-shirt, and the guy who has the podcast, he says it all the time. Personal excellence is your number one rebellion. Becoming the best version of you is the only way we can win as a society. And that's what I'm looking forward to being able to tell, because this is an industry where it's probably not being talked about enough. And this is on all sides, from the broker and carrier side, because you got brokers who are locked into chairs on the phones. They're miserable. And you've got drivers who are screaming on the phones, and they're, you know, hurting just as bad. And so, but when you start that one thing, and then it trickles down and starts to change. And I can't wait to have those conversations with the type of people who are going to be there.
Well, your story is incredibly inspirational, and I can confirm in person you're 100% legit. And so I'm excited for that. So if you're listening to this, if you're a carrier out there and you want to hear Michael in person, make sure you sign up for the Broker Carrier Summit. It's going to be a great event. I also want to talk about this too. You were recently featured in Newsweek. How the heck did you pull that off?
Oh man, it's gotta be friends, and it's gotta be some friends in high places. Well, it's related to the trucking industry and building a network in a community. I'm good friends with, you know, one of our good friends who's at the show, Gord McGill. He's originally from Canada, longtime trucker, driven in 4 countries. He's done time on the Outback. He did 4 seasons on the ice. This is a true blue guy. Recently was hauling logs.
Ice road trucker.
Yeah, he's legit, and he's got the pictures and everything to back it up. He's got a great show called Voice of Gord, talking about he's had great guests on, like Steve Viscelli, author of The Big Rig. He's had on Michael Belser, who wrote Sweatshop on Wheels. He's had some good guests, and Gord and I connected on Twitter. He's been writing for Newsweek for a while, and he knows another woman, this woman, Batia. She goes on Fox Business a lot, and she reached out to me. So like Gord, I think, retweeted something, because I recently gave a presentation to Hayes County bus drivers in Texas on on health and wellness, and Gord had shared it to his network, and I got a DM on Twitter from this woman saying, "Hey, do you want to write something about, you know, staying healthy over the road as a truck driver?" And I was like, "Absolutely." And so it just like popped out of the blue. So it's kind of, you know, it's through a network. You know, people call it networking, but it truly was kind of like manifesting, like I kind of spoke it into existence. You keep speaking it, and eventually something came out, and I was able to put it out there on a large platform.
It's so awesome. There's a lot of truth in that, and speaking it into existence. And I read it today. It's a great article, and I was just excited to see that. I did not know that, man. Like you're kind of a humble dude. Like if I was published in Newsweek, I might mention it from time to time. So the fact that I haven't heard that from you is pretty impressive. You're a part of the Freight X crew on Twitter. You're part of the Please Advise crew as well. I got the hat on today. Also, by the way, I wore this.
Hats in the other
I wore
room.
this shirt just for you. Like, look at this, the old truffle shuffle. Look at this. So, when I was getting healthy myself, my sister actually bought this shirt. She thought it'd be hilarious, and it's one of my favorite shirts now. And I figured with us talking about driver health, this could definitely be something that people can relate to. If you're old enough, I don't even know. Did you watch the Goonies growing up? I don't even know how old you are, man. Are you too young for the Goonies?
Oh no, I mean I'm 34. I know.
All right, it's close.
Botox for men. Botox for men. No, I think the first time I probably watched the Goonies, I was probably like, I remember watching it as like a little kid on a TV, like a tube TV, like one of those. I've definitely. Oh yeah, I've watched it a couple of times. I mean, it's a good
probably in replay, man. Too. They came out like in '85, so I mean, it was definitely on replay for you. That's for sure. I was a kid when it came out, but all good stuff. All right, so listen, we got to pause for a second here because every day on the show we like to have some little fun and play some games. All right, so today we are playing a game called Wavelength. All right, Michael, here's how it works. We're going to put up a banner up on the screen. It's going to have a category and a letter. So it might say food M, for example. And we have to try to think of the same word that starts with M that's a food-related word and see if we can get on the same wavelength. Okay. So we'll see how many of these we can get the same. See if we can be thinking on the same wavelength here on these different categories and letters. Got it?
Make sense? Give us a food and a letter?
Well, it's going to give us a category like food or music or song or movie, and then a letter, which is the first letter of that. And then we just have to try to guess the same word. There's no right or wrong answers here. We just have to be on the same wavelength. That's it. That's the whole game. All right. So we'll see how many we can get correct. I think we got 8 categories. So we'll see. Here we go. Let's try it. First one. First category is a movie that starts with G. Okay, this should be easy. We should get this one right away, Michael. All right. So on the count of 3, shout out what it is. Okay. So 3, 2, 1. Goonies. That's right. Here we go. 1 for 1, baby. 1 for 1. The same wavelength. That might have been a freebie, but I like it. All right. A famous actor whose first name starts with a J. Oh, okay. Famous actor, first name starts with a J.
I got one.
You have one. Okay. I have one as well. Let's see if we're on the same one. You ready? 3, 2, 1.
Jude Law.
John Travolta. Oh, we did not get that one correct.
Yeah,
you said Jude Law, is that right?
Jude Law, yeah. I've been wanting to rewatch Gattaca for a while, which is another crazy movie if you haven't seen it. Which, especially in today's
I haven't seen that one. No, I have not seen that one.
Oh, that's a must watch.
Recency bias though got you right there. You were thinking about Jude Law. That's a good one. I don't know why I came up with John Travolta. It's just the first thing that came to mind. All right, here we go. Next one. So we're 1 for 2. Let's see. We got a food that starts with a D. Food that starts with D.
I've got one.
Okay, I've got one. It's not okay. This isn't appropriate for what we're going to talk about, but I got one as well. Are you ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Doritos.
Donut. Oh, both unhealthy. But we Doritos. That's a good one. Doritos are kind of they're addictive. It's not good. Donuts as well. All right, we're 1 for 3, my friend. That's all right. Here we go. This is a tough game. This is one of the tougher games we play. All right, here we go. A TV show that starts with I. Ooh,
got one.
That's a tough one. You got one already? Okay, I got one as well. Mine's old school. Is yours old school?
It is.
Oh, we might be on the same page. Okay, 3, 2, 1.
I Love
Lucy. Let's go. 2 for 4. All right. This is going well. This is actually better than most of the ones. Oh, this is the last one. Only 5. Okay, so we got a chance here to pass or fail. We can pass with this one or we fail if we miss it. Here we go. Last one. Last category is a popular song. A popular song that starts with F. Ooh. This is going to be tough. Popular song. Okay, I've got one, but it is kind of old. Come on. Okay, here you go, Michael. Come on.
I'm like,
send it to you.
I don't know. I'm trying to
miracle. It's gonna be a miracle if we get this, but I got it. It's old school. I'm shooting it your way right now. Come on, universe.
I can't even think of a song that starts with F.
Isn't it? Put you on the spot. I know. I mean, there's a million of them, but right, like it's not easy. Not easy.
Oh my God.
I got
Am I drawing a blank? Oh, I'm like under pressure at songs that start with
it
an F.
is. It's pressure. That's for sure.
Um,
That's for sure. And the fact that I'm like, putting pressure on you that I have one probably makes it worse because you're trying to think of.
yeah, an
This is
old
so
one.
old
Too.
school. This is like hippie, old school, like 70s and 80s rock. Like it's one of the songs that like I can't get out of my head now. It's just playing in my head now. Got a real cool guitar lick. Got a unique voice. Stoner.
I'm trying to
I
think.
don't know if I can give you clues or not. I'm not sure what the rules are in this game, but I'm
I
giving you
can't
some
even.
clues.
I'm trying to think of like. I'm even trying to think of.
Mm.
Trying to think of like old bands.
The artist's initial is TP. Does that help at all? TP.
It
Who this
doesn't
is?
help.
Only making it worse. Only making it worse. All right. Well, how about if I share the song I was thinking of, and you can just confirm or deny if this is the one you were thinking of. All right. So we'll just go
All
to
right.
that. So the song is "Free Fallin'" by Tom Petty.
Oh
Free
wow.
Fallin'. That's
No,
old.
I was
I
like the
know.
first thing that came to mind, which I don't even know it's a song, but the first word that came to mind was Fergalicious.
Fergal. Ooh, is that a song? I know
I
that
don't know.
Fergie. I think Fergalicious is a song. I think it might be. Maybe we can get some help from our producers to confirm or deny if that's a song
And
or
that's
not.
like the first thing that came to my mind was
Oh, it
oh,
is.
so it
Yes,
is a
producer
song. Okay.
confirms it is a song. You would have had that would have been epic if we had gotten that one. That would
Would have been good content. Yeah.
been pretty dope. That's for sure. That would have been sick. But all good. Okay. Also, we like to have a random question of the day. Why not have a little fun on the show? So here's today's random question of the day, and it is: how long do you think you would survive in a zombie apocalypse? You ever thought
Man,
about it?
time for well, oh well, I is an answer like my like probably the rest of my natural born life. I would like to
Oh, you think
hope.
so, huh? You'd
I
survive.
know like there's that movie Zombieland, I think with that kid and Woody Harrelson. I don't
Yep.
know if you had seen that one. I forget that kid's name. He's the kid
I
from
don't have
Superbad.
either.
They were in that movie. One of the rules you need to survive the zombie apocalypse is cardio. And I think if I can travel a long distance over time,
Check.
like I think if
Yeah.
I could go a long distance over time and get myself enough distance, I can hopefully, continue to get myself, towards safety. So
If you ever needed a reason to be in shape, that's the reason to survive the zombie apocalypse.
and I
You
do
know?
have a CDL and I could drive, 10 speed. I could drive an 18 speed. So like when all the electric stuff goes down, like I'd hope I'd be able to get into a big truck, up armor it with the boys, and we're able to just mow down the zombies.
That's right.
So I'd like to
I'm gonna
think I
say
could hold out.
I'm gonna say this. I think I could last for a while as well because I hate running, but I can run. I'm a basketball player, so I can run, but I hate the idea of just running. I've ran 2 half marathons. I haven't ran any fulls. I don't know if I want to. Didn't really enjoy the halves that much, but I love playing basketball and love running. So I might make it too. I don't know. I don't know about my whole natural life, but I could probably make it for a while.
And especially depending on where it starts, like depending on where I go. I mean, like, I'm in Central Texas. Yeah, I'm south of a city, but you figure you head out to open land or whatever. You head out. There's got to be some
Off the
doomsday
grid.
bunkers in West Texas.
That's
Somebody's got to
right.
be out there.
Is this like the bear thing? Is this like you don't have to be able to outrun a bear? You just have to be able to outrun the person who's behind you? Is that kind of how this works out with zombies as well? You just got to be faster than the guy behind. So see, you're faster than me. You'll outlast me. Eventually they'll catch me, but you'll keep going. So maybe that's kind of the way that is. All right, Michael. So we're going to wrap this baby up. What do you think? So I want to ask you a quick question. Do you think there are certain changes that can be made by organizations or establishments in the industry to better support the health of our truckers, whether it be like OIDA or these organizations like TCA or ATA or truck stops themselves? Like, what about truck stops having fitness facilities available, have showering facilities, got restaurants, of course, like maybe it's the type of food. Like, what do you think would really help out to help truckers? Like, what could we do as an industry or what could organizations do to really make a change?
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be a team effort here, and I know that this might sound and rubs people the wrong way, but you have to look at it as people over profit. Sometimes you have to realize who's driving your revenue, who's bringing it in, how do things move, and when you're on the current course of things, when it comes to the retention issue in the trucking industry and just how the current conditions are and the current status quo, it is almost on a crash course, especially with the combination of autonomous probably coming onto the scene. We're headed towards issues that could very well, people probably said it couldn't happen 100 years ago with the steel riots and the labor uprisings of the industrial revolutions. But the thing is, if we don't do the right things now, we're looking at a similar crossroads coming in the future if we're not taking care of, our people, especially drivers. And I mean, from all corners of things, it needs to be dialed in as the first thing. Like when you join the military, for example, especially for people who joined the military like I did during OEF and OIF, full well that at any time you could probably be killed. Like you're willingly signing up for that. And that needs to be told to, like, drivers need to be told that at CDL school. Drivers need to be told that in general. It's like, hey, this is actually what the job does. So they need to know that up front, because that definitely puts a little bit of fear in them. But from the top down, like when it comes to truck stops, truck stops are charging airport prices for not the best food out there. It's definitely usury. There's 100% more than what they can do. And they probably, check some boxes by donating to a few charities or so much, but that's just talk, right there. So, I mean, right from there, I mean, what their food selections are, who they partner with is definitely different. I'd be curious to see what truck stops or rest areas in Europe do. And because I've seen some footage of that. So on the truck stop side, for sure. But on the OIDA, ATA, on the other sides of, whoever's representing sex of the trucking industry, I mean, it needs to be the main focal point. Like it's the foundation of success. Like a strong mind and a strong body is what's going to drive overall success. And from the top down, it needs to be ingrained into the culture. And, when it comes to and I bring them up again, it comes to a company like First Form. What's crazy about their company is what they instill onto their employees down to their warehouse workers. I mean, they don't hire a cleaning crew for their facility. Like they don't hire a cleaning crew for their gym. The employees take care of everything around it. Their employees do it. Their employees are also kind of required to be in shape and have a fitness plan. And it's just like, that's it. Like what are companies doing? They want better drivers. They want this, they want these great drivers. Well, if your caliber of drivers you're bringing in are people who and this sounds harsh, but people are walking resumes. And if you meet somebody who clearly isn't able to take care of themselves, how are we to expect they're going to take care of this truck or take care of, this load long term, especially, so to speak. And they need to realize that that fixing this will dial in on their retention. So from the company aspect, I mean, they need to have part of their HR department or something needs to be lasered in on, guidance and, coaching towards drivers on staying healthy and fit, because it could end up costing them money. I mean, we just had a tragic accident here in Central Texas of a cement truck that crashed into a school bus full of preschoolers in Hayes County. Horrible. One child passed away and a car hit the bus from behind and a gentleman passed away. The cement truck driver fell asleep at the wheel. What was his lifestyle like? These are questions we need to be asking. We see these videos on TikTok all the time, people falling asleep at the wheel, and that level of fatigue where, yes, the job has long hours. There was never one point over the road where I felt fatigued enough to where I had to pull off. And I had 600-700 mile days myself, and I know exactly what it's like. So, I mean, it needs to be on the forefront of everybody's mind, because we only got one life, and that's it. And if trucking is going to be your long-time career, if you don't do the hard things, if you don't take care of yourself, you could be putting yourself and others at risk 20 years down the road when you're in your 40s and 50s, when you're in the twilight of your life. And when that happens, if it catches up, that one nod off, that's that school bus right there. And I think that's the big picture. That's the shock and awe that, OIDA, ATA, any organization, that that's what we do at CDL Drivers Unlimited. We take it seriously with health and fitness. That's what I do as a part of them. And they need to realize like that's like, it's right up there, in the hierarchy of needs for employee development. It's got to be a main bullet point, because if that's eliminated, when you remove the health and fitness from it, there's so many more problems that are come down, and it literally cannibalizes everything around you when you're not taking care of those things, because things start to degrade everywhere else. And it's just, it needs to be a main focal point, because, we don't have any other options. The only other options, because that's the thing, we have these events like you're having Broker Carrier Summit, all that stuff. People aren't okay with the status quo. If you go on LinkedIn right now, brokers aren't happy. Carriers aren't happy. The status quo is not right. but something that we can, if we change the status quo of how we view health and fitness out into this industry, you might start seeing people communicate better. You might start seeing people stick around a little bit better and advocating more. You might start seeing people come to Broker Carrier Summit more to solve problems. Because that's the thing, when you are sick, depressed, mentally unwell, you're not feeling 100%, you're not going to be in the right mind. You're not in the right mindset to advocate for yourself or for others. But when you are in that right mindset, you're able to go to Broker Carrier Summit and peacefully start to build relationships and kind of start solving problems. So that's the thing. At the end of the day, being of sound mind and body is going to help solve problems within the industry overall. And I think that that's what these organizations, carriers, and brokers need to know from the top down. And unfortunately, it does start with the individual. Like it shouldn't be up to these organizations to do it. It should be ingrained in us, but we can't blame the current state of affairs with drivers or even with brokers because of the environment that was just created post deregulation. But that's the thing, is the wake up call should come from the top down, be like, hey, the extreme ownership, they need to be like, hey, we haven't been running things well. Things haven't been going great. What can we do right now? Okay, we could probably start instilling lifestyle changes for the people within the industry and maybe start honing in on why that's so important.
Yeah, I'd love to start seeing like a truck stop chain who will change their messaging on the windows and like encouraging positive environments, reminders to drivers, health food options, potentially workout facilities, or just something to remind people to move, maybe build a little walking track, just something, just to start getting people to think about that, like a Loves or a TA or somebody, just to go out and say, this is going to be a priority for us. And we're going to invest in that, because that idea of like people over profits or profits over people, whichever way kind of you want to talk about it, never made sense to me, because when you invest in people, your profits go up. like things get better, right? So like invest in people. When truck stops, taking care of drivers, they're going to have more drivers coming to their truck stop. It's like make it a destination that drivers don't want to miss, that they feel encouraged, they feel supported, they feel loved, they have some good options to purchase, or healthy options to purchase, a chance to work out or just walk or do something. Like just make it easy and really like put our money where our mouths are. If we appreciate drivers and we really want to take care of them, let's figure out a way to do it. I'd love to see a truck stop chain that would just be like, this is our initiative. We're not going to stop till every truck stop is outfitted with this. Like, to me, that'd be incredible.
Yeah, if there was a sign at every truck stop going to the bathroom that said average life expectancy for an average American is 78, average life expectancy of a truck driver is 61, this job will remove years off of your life. Like if just that right there was just in front of every single bathroom, eventually people are going to read that and they're going to start to think twice, and they're going to say, what do I need to do? And really,
reminders, get off your phone, go move, take a walk on our track, whatever it is, like, just encouraging them to do that kind of stuff, and remind them to do it. That stuff has to happen, I think, because it's unbelievable to me still that there's that disparity, a 20 years life expectancy difference. Like, that's crazy to me to even think about that's just because you're driving a truck. So I love what you're doing, man. I'm so happy that you were out there and that you've decided to put yourself out there to help drivers full time. I see big things on the horizon for you, man. I'm so excited just to be connected with you. And thank you so much for being on the show today. It's great having you, man.
Hey, no, man, I appreciate it so much. There are a lot of big things to come. I hope to keep raising awareness, raising some funds for it, and, getting it to the right people, and really looking forward to the road ahead.
We got to get you out of here with your song, man. This song is great. So we'll talk to you real soon, Michael. Thanks so much for being here, buddy. We'll see you. Oh, that's a good song. That was enjoyable. Love having Michael on the show. And make sure you're following that guy, Lombard Trucking. He's all over the place, especially on social media, doing some great work. Can't wait to have him at the Broker Carrier Summit coming up real soon. Again, don't forget to sign up for that. BrokerCarrierSummit.com. Use the coupon code VETA, Beta. Get 10% off the registration. Hope to see you in Kansas City in April. And until next time, again, be sure to listen to us on Reason Across America Radio every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And thank you once again to our sponsor, SPI Logistics. Check them out at success.spi3pl.com. We'll see you guys on the flip up. Peace out.